Welcome everyone to our new bi-weekly call, which is titled Vet to Vet, where we come and support veterans, prior service members, and enlisted service members as well. Transitioning out, or if you're thinking about getting out, this is where you want to be. How you doing, Deshaun?
Doing good. What's going on, Dominic? How you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty good, doing pretty good. Excited, man. This is something I've been
Yep.
trying to get on the books for a while, and I finally got you. So
Yeah. Yeah. We up here. Great handle business.
So we're gonna jump right in. So just to give the people a little background about you and where you come from, and then we'll get some questions going and see how we can help some veterans out here.
Sure, sure. So I say good evening to everyone. I'm mobile right now, so my apologies if hopefully everybody can hear me clearly. My name is Deshaun Bogues, retired United States Navy. I have over 20 years of working in government service. I served as a law enforcement officer, worked as an educator, a criminal justice professor. Now I help veterans across North Carolina as the local veterans employment representative. I'm helping them transition into meaningful careers. Academically, I've earned a bachelor's in emergency management, a master's in criminal justice, a master's in public administration, and currently pursuing my doctorate in psychology. But I'm most proud of right now just building who I am as a person and being able to help those veterans transfer from civilian life into the military, also, and then into the military back to civilian life.
Yeah, and that's amazing. I know we've talked a lot. Actually met at the gym. Deshaun stopped me and was like, you were in the military," and I was like, "Yeah." He immediately started asking me where was I stationed and things like that. I don't know what was the giveaway.
But it was the hat. He had that hat on. So everybody knows about those hats. Man, that's your command hat, command ball cap. So that's one identifying piece of what we see other vets, especially if you was in the Navy or you got those command ball caps, and that was one of the biggest things I noticed.
Yeah, and it's like we were having a conversation one day about frats and
Yeah,
military and
yeah,
what is more beneficial. Of course, we feel like it's the military because when you're out with your brothers and your sisters, you get closer, you build bonds, and then when you get out, most of the people that you serve with are either successful or you can help them become successful, and that's what we're trying to do here today. So let's get right into it. The first question I have: when you first got out, Deshaun, what was the hardest thing about transitioning back into the civilian world?
man. The camaraderie, I would say, was the hardest thing for me. That family that we all built as service members in the military is something that's unexplainable. You can't preach it, you can't teach it. It's just something that actually happens. Almost like growing up in your home with your brothers and your sisters. I know one thing I can say is when I was a kid, and mom would work all day long. Me and my siblings would all get together and make sure that house clean before she got home. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of almost like, if the CEO's coming on deck, hey, we gotta make sure everything's squared away before he get there. And sometimes you don't even know he coming; he just pop up. So you want to keep everything squared away. And that was my hardest transition coming back in the workforce. It was like, some people in some of these organizations, and I say it all the time, they work till for 5 o'clock, and in the military, we work to get the job done. We have a mission, and then we go after it and get it done, and we do it together. You wake up together, you sleep together, you eat together, and you go to work together. And then when you come home, it's like, this 8 to 5, and I'm done. Like, that's it. And ain't nothing after hours. It ain't a lot of teamwork. And those are a lot of things that you miss. You really are individual when you come out. You got to handle your business.
Yeah, I can say for myself, after I got out, it was just finding my lane. Of course, the camaraderie and the brotherhood or the bonds that we build when we are deployed with others. That was kind of different going into the workforce once I did find a job. but it was hard. It was hard even finding a job for me when I first got out. Nothing really fit. I didn't want to do meaningless work, should I say?
Yeah.
So I could say that was the hardest thing that I went through is finding a job and then finding a valuable job as well. But soon I transitioned into technology. Well, it's not about me today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
That's tough.
the other question I do have: what do you think veterans are least prepared for once the structure of the military is gone?
I would say they're not prepared for the lack of structure and accountability. Nobody's waking you up to do something in the morning. Nobody's checking on your progress. Really, that may come once a year for an eval. In the military, you getting checked every day. At my old squadron, there was a wall. There was a wall up there with all your qualifications, and it showed everyone on that wall how far you were where you needed to be, and that was every single day. You had somebody on you all the time, 24/7. Even when you off duty, you better make sure you're squared away. That doesn't happen. In the civilian world. And if you don't build that discipline on your own, you start drifting. And it's not because you're weak, it's just because the system you are used to is gone. So, and now I got to self-initiate. I got to get started. I got to get going. And that's what we do at NC Works. You know what I'm saying? We have case managers across the whole state of North Carolina that we're going to help you build what you are missing, and which was that self-initiation. We're going to teach you how to do that through our programs. So, and then I'm going to be the guy once our career advisors get you squared away, then I'm going to talk to those employers for you. I'm gonna put my best foot forward to help you out and make sure you get a job.
Yeah, I wish I wish I had that when I left the military. Not that I wasn't a structured person, but my structure is like I have everything laid out, and I'm just going to do all of my work throughout the day. But on the civilian side, you have so much freedom and free time, and you don't have any direction. So me personally, I didn't have a goal that I was trying to accomplish when I got out. It was more just figuring out how to survive on the civilian side without those petty officers above you or those chiefs or those officers that you would have to report to. Because, if you got to report to someone, they're going to be checking on you. You can call them at any time. But when you get a job, you better not call anyone after 5 o'clock.
No, that's right. It's done. Ain't nobody
The
trying
day
to
is
come back
over.
out. You ain't getting no more money. And that's the biggest difference in the military. Like I would tell sailors all the time, that looked up to me or that I mentor. Hey man, I don't care what time it is. Call me. They even told us every weekend before we left for Liberty. That's what we call it in the Navy. Liberty. That's the weekend. Have a plan. But even if you have a plan, make sure you execute that plan. You had somebody always checking on you. You had to muster every morning at a certain time. And if it was your duty weekend, you had to muster on that duty weekend. So somebody is always checking for you. But when you come out here, the only person checking for you is yourself. And I tell a lot of veterans, you want to keep a job, nobody's going to fire you. You're going to fire yourself. At this point, you're going to get, your job duties and job descriptions, and who's responsible for that? You are. Nobody's gonna tell you anything. Ain't no more uniform inspections. Ain't no more going to no boards to make no rank. Now you gotta go out and put in work so you can make what? More money. That's the ball game. You're trying to make more money. That's it. You go to work to make money in the civilian world. You go in the military to handle a mission. And that's it. Every single day. And that's another hard transition. Ain't no more missions. A lot of organizations have mission statements and vision statements, but how often are they revisited? And not too often. But in the military, you say your general orders, you follow those general orders, you say the vision, the sailor's creed, the soldier's creed, you know it from the day you go in to the day you go out. You know what I'm saying? And that's that piece that's missing that really hurts a lot of vets when they get out.
And I think organizations are missing that as well. I know we're here to help veterans, but I think if companies implemented some of the things that we did in the military, they would take off. It'll be like no other company, and they will accelerate their production so much faster. But I know everyone can't operate under that same umbrella.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, I
funny
would say
that you
that all the
say
time.
it's funny that you say check in. I know when we did have Liberty, if you call somebody, like say you get too drunk on Liberty, and you got to call a chief or um, a petty officer to pick you up, they'll come pick you up and they'll look out for you. But if you were to do that on the outside, I'm guaranteed you will be fired.
Fine. You're going home. They get, yeah, it's done. Somebody else is coming to get your job. You know. But the mission is different in the military. What do we need in the military? Bodies. We can't send people home. I can't do the exact number, but I believe only 10% of the nation serve in the entire military. So it's like, man, we need you, but we want to make sure we save you. You go out and get drunk, like you said, we're gonna come get you. I'm glad you called. And we can get you squared away. So when it's Monday morning or whenever you return back to your shift, you can go in and handle business.
Yeah. So for veterans watching tonight who feel stuck, what is one thing they should stop doing immediately?
I'm gonna go. It starts with a big W, and I have that question asked a lot. Stop waiting. Stop waiting on the perfect opportunity to come. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? The perfect timing or someone to come save you, it's not happening. That waiting mindset will keep you stuck longer than anything else. Movement creates clarity, not the other way around. You got to get out there, man. You got to go put in application after application after application. Use all available resources. I mean, you got your VA benefits. You got your post 9/11 Montgomery GI bills. You got Chapter 31 VRE. You got in whatever state you live in. The state that you live in has veteran benefits for employment and education. Use those things, please. Any veteran that's listening to me right now, stop waiting. It's not coming to save you. You got to go after it and go get it. That's what I would say.
And I know you're talking about putting applications in and stop waiting, but you do also help veterans that would like to start their own businesses as well, right?
All day, every day. And we have so many federal grants for first-time business startups, just specifically for veterans. Go out there, talk to your community, the stakeholders in your community, your local officials. There's monies out there for people that have served the country, and that's just on the local level. Then when you start going to the federal level, there's even more money out there. You just have to do the research and find it. And a lot of people lack the ability to do research. And if you can't do that, there's places that will help you understand how to do research. There's tools out there. You just got to open up that toolbox and use some tools. Some people just want, I don't know. A lot of people want things just given to them. And that mindset has to be done. In the military, they give you a mission, they give you orders, and you complete it. They don't really teach you a lot of self-initiation in the military. You just do what you're told. And that's it. And you handle your business, which that's great. That's a great trait to have. But in today's time, in 2026, you have to be able to initiate and start something. And the ability to go out there and get it. You have to do that.
All right. And starting is just the first step, like you said. Like if you just get going, it's just like going to the gym in the morning. You might wake up, you don't feel like going, but once you get there, you're there.
Yeah, game change once you get in the building. The 4 o'clock heroes are tough. But it changes when you get in the building.
So I did bring that up, but I want to ask you another question. What is one habit or routine that helped you create stability after service?
I built my own structure. I mean, like you just said, early mornings. When I first got out in 2020, I started writing down my goals every morning. I would wake up and I would write down what I needed to do for the day. Now, what was going on in 2020? COVID. We were shut down. There wasn't a lot of opportunities to start a new employment. So I started writing down what I was going to do, how I was going to do it, what it took for me to get there. I created my own mission, and then I implemented my own vision for myself. That took me a very, very long way. I treated my civilian life like a mission, and once I did that, everything started to align. I was mission oriented for so long. I was a police officer before I was in the military. So everything I've ever done has been mission oriented. So I did those things just to get myself back out, and just to do for the civilian life.
And I know you say you were a police officer before joining. So, at what age did you join the military? I know they're implementing the. I just saw online. I don't know if it's true or not because social media lies a lot. But I saw they're implementing 18 years old. You can be drafted now, and also the Army has extended their age limit to 42. So, what age were you when you joined?
I was 27 when I joined, and I was a police officer at age 20, right at age 21. And when I came in, I was a little older, so I had a little more wisdom, a little more knowledge, and actually I was better in shape than everybody that was in the whole boot camp. I mean, there was people in there couldn't run one lap around Freedom Hall, and I'm sitting there like, what y'all doing, y'all? Y'all 18 years old. I got y'all by almost 10 years. This old man killing y'all. What's up? So, I went in a little older, but hey, I loved it, man. I would do it all over again. It's the best training I think I've ever had in my life. Joining the military.
From what I understand, it's changed a lot. Boot camp
That's what
now.
I hear that too. I don't know how it is now, but what I had was good. I mean, I still remember my chief. His name was Chief Carver. And he probably could have been an NFL head coach. This man, he can motivate a fish to drink water. It's tough. And I haven't talked to him since I left. But if he's up here, and he hears me, man. I tell him I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everything you did for me, bro. And I was already disciplined. He still changed my life. That man was tough, man. So,
Oh yeah, you do run into some good people. I can't remember my chief in boot camp, but I do remember he was a DC. I do remember that he was a DC. Um, but being in boot camp, it taught me a lot too. I joined at 23. I didn't join at 27, but I still was a late joiner. So that did bring a lot more wisdom. I knew about the world already. A lot of people go into boot camp, they're coming in at 18, 19, haven't really experienced the world, don't really know a lot about anything except for their mom's house or their father's house. I
so
think it helped us with getting through boot camp as well because we already know what we didn't want to go back to.
yeah,
I feel like anyway.
yeah, it was good, man. Boot camp was good. I'd say I have a boot camp experience in their life. So
Now, let me get to some good stuff what everyone else wants to hear. So, what opportunities do you think veterans overlook most? Benefits, networking, mentorship, business, or something else?
I would say networking. I think that you got to
I
figure out
think we're
everything
losing you a
alone.
bit,
And
Deshaun.
that's not how growth works.
You're breaking up a bit. Hold on. All right, we're back. I think I can hear you now.
You know, I would say you said what opportunities do vets overlook. I would say the networking and the mentorship. A lot of vets think that they've got to, figure out everything by themselves. That's not how growth works. The right room can change your trajectory faster than anything. And I always tell anybody, if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you got to find your another room because you got to reach your ceiling. And a lot of you know, older vets, they get out, they have that mentality that hey, things are how they're going to be at when they were active. And then reality is, hey, you got to move around. You got to network. You got to change your mindset a little bit out here in the civilian world to be successful. got got in the military. Yeah, it's good. You squared away, but you got to be able to have those conversations and network and build relationships outside of just us, us veterans.
Yeah, and networking is big. I'm an advocate of talking to people. I don't talk like one funny thing is I don't normally talk to people in the gym anyway, but because I'm kind of in and out. But Deshaun was the first person I really stopped and talked to when I when I joined that gym. I've never really stopped and talked to anybody else, and it was only because he said that he was in the Navy.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
love networking. I love talking. I love talking to people. I mean, I talk to people all day long, and I enjoy it, man. And it's a passion of mine. I like to be able to take somebody from their lowest point and just take them a little bit higher. And that's one thing that I also teach is when people come into our centers, we have to understand that they're at their lowest point sometimes. And that networking and communicating piece is so good because sometimes it's a simple, hey, how are you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, could change your whole day. And because people go through stuff every day. And as veterans, I say us all the time because it's us Navy, it's us Marines, it's us Army, that's what's in the front of our whatever branch we're in. It's U.S. and it's us. And I talk about us all the time. And it's like, yo, we still in it together. Even as veterans, we have to talk. You got to tell people something. Have those conversations, man, if you want to make it out here.
Yeah, I heard Myron Golden say this: "Be fruitful and multiply." Most people correlate that with having children,
Yeah,
but it's being fruitful and multiplying means to give back, pour into someone.
yeah,
That's the multiplication. You can share knowledge the same way, and that's the best thing about networking is you can share knowledge and receive knowledge. Now you're multiplying, being fruitful, giving. So I'm the same way when it comes to networking. Why is community important for veterans after service, especially when a lot of people try to handle everything alone?
that's because how can I say it? We were never built to do this alone. In the military, you always had a unit, out here. If you isolate, you lose that edge. And then the community keeps you accountable. It keeps you sharp. And it also keeps you focused. Um, Community is everything. When I was a child, it says it takes what? It takes a village to raise a child. And everybody working together to accomplish one goal is to take that child from where they are to where they're going. I see so many situations and so many, I would say, families where they just leave these kids to hang to dry. They can be 12, 13, 14 years old and they say, well, this is just how they're going to be. But 20 years ago, you didn't see that happen in the communities. I don't care what culture you came from. They made sure that that child at least made it to the age of 18 with some good order and good discipline. But now it's everybody wants to be an individual and that they can figure it out on their own without extending out their hand asking for some help. And that's what we do as veterans. We're so prideful when we get out, man. We're scared to stick our hand out and ask for help. We got to stop. Like, everybody's not out here to hurt you. We ain't fighting no wars out here in the United States. We're just trying to make some money and
Mhm.
live a good life. You know what I'm saying? It's that's a struggle. You got to have community.
Yeah, community is important, and we'll get into that a little later in our conversation. What we're building together in the community that we're trying to start with supporting veterans. But what do you lose? What do veterans lose when they isolate instead of staying connected with other veterans and growth-minded people?
I would say they lose perspective, man. They lose opportunities, and honestly, they lose time. Time is speak on perspective all the time. You got to see how something else is in somebody else's view, not just your own. I can go to a job and say, hey, they should have hired me. I done served my country and this, that, and the third. But you don't know what the employer sees when they see you. You know, what does it really look like in the mirror? Not what you say, but how do people view you? When you speak, are you aggressive? Are you passive? Are you assertive? Are you coachable? Can you take criticism? When you're on the job interview, what is your body language like? Is your head down? Is your eyes up? I've heard vets say, yeah, man, I killed that interview, man. I went in there, I knocked it out. And then I go back and talk to the employer, and they say, yeah, his head was down the whole time. He didn't make any eye contact. So you have to be successful in anything that you do. I don't care if it's a relationship, a friendship, a workship. You have to have the ability to understand somebody else's point of view if you want to gain something from them. Because if you're only looking at the lens through your eyes, the only person that's going to grow in the situation is the person that's deep inside of you. And nobody else is going to plant no water for you. Them seeds going to stay stuck in that ground. So you got to really open your eyes and say, man, how do people really view me if I want something from them? That's something the military don't teach. You just get orders. But out here, you are selling yourself to the world. Simple. And you look, I can get a case in point. We can go to Walmart, and if you see a pack of bread that's smushed all up, what are you going to do? You're going to reach around and grab the loaf that looks nice, right? But that pack of bread saying, why they ain't grab me? I taste just like that taste. No, you don't. You smushed all up. You mashed up. You know what I'm saying? So you got to present yourself a certain way. I don't want to go too far offline about presenting yourself, but the way you present yourself is going to be what you get, and that's just it.
While we're on the conversation of presenting yourself, what kind of conversations do veterans need to have or be having more often that they usually avoid? Just like you were saying about the job interviews with the heads down, and that they're not presenting themselves well. So, what conversations do veterans need to have to help support them?
They need to have those conversations explaining who they are and the talents that they do have. I talk to a lot of employers, and they want to know more about the strengths versus the weakness. That question is posed, hey, what is your weaknesses and what are your strengths? These employers want to know what you're strong at so you can be an asset. They want to use you where you're strong. So speaking more to the things that you're good at, that's the attitude to have. Speaking more positive things in your life. Get all that negativity out of the way, because it's just going to slow you down. It's going to touch your emotions. You're going to feel drained. You're going to feel weak. And you're not going to focus on the great things that you did yesterday. 20, 25 years you gave to the country. Talk more about the things that you do great, and say less about the things that you're not doing so well. That's what a lot of employers want to see. That's what a lot of people want to see. Nobody want to be around negative Nancy all the time. It ain't a good feeling. You want to have some positivity in your life. But a lot of us, we have a lot of negative feelings. We've been through a lot of things. Some of us have some very serious disabilities that it's hard for us to wake up in the morning and handle business. So that's what I would say. Speak more light instead of darkness.
Yeah, I was just having that same conversation with my wife earlier about negative people draining you. So if you're around someone that's always negative, that is going to be pushed on you, and you're going to start thinking that way. But if you're around a bunch of positive people, then you're going to start thinking positively about your outlook on things. In the same way with money, if you're around, they say around 9 rich people, you'll be the next rich person. But if you're around 9 broke people, you're guaranteed to be the next one. So I think
you're gonna take on that
mentality.
You take on that mentality. My pops always told me, you are the company that you keep. So if the company that you keep is leaving some bad stuff around, you might need to go somewhere else. Especially if you're not gaining nothing. So you're right. I agree with everything you just said. 110%.
And the Navy always also taught me was perception is everything. And I don't care if you didn't do it. If you look like you did it, you did it.
And I challenge that on 2 different stages, man. Like I always say, perception is not reality, but perception is also reality. Just because something looks a certain way, it doesn't mean that it is that way. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, if you're really trying to, like I say, promote yourself on people, then you have to present yourself a certain way for what they see. No matter how you feel on the inside, you really got to show people what is needed, what is wanted.
Exactly. Love that. If veterans join a community like ours, what should they be looking to gain from being in the room consistently?
Success. You look for success. Uh, look beyond the stars, man. Look beyond. There's no ceiling. Just keep going up. Be innovative. Open up your mind. The opportunity for growth is everywhere. We in the era of information right now, and just grab it. AI is jumping. Um, there's so many ways that you can make money now. You, you have to have an open mindset. If you're closed minded, you're gonna be right where you are. So in this community, you have to. If you have an idea, put it out there. Don't be afraid. Take a chance, man. It's okay. You're gonna lose sometimes. You might lose more than you win, but you might win real big, and all the losses don't mean absolutely nothing, unless your name Michael Jordan. And MJ won a lot, but hey, it's okay to lose, man. Take those chances.
And inside of Skool community, also, we have we have Brandy, which is in real estate. She does home flips. Stacy, he's in real estate as well. He does development work, construction work. And we have a few others as well that you can pull from. These are not just veterans in the community, they're specialists in the community as well. And we're welcoming more to learn from. We're not just putting people in the community just to chit chat. We are trying to accomplish a mission inside of the community, and that's success, wealth building, and different opportunities to help each other. So partnerships, deals, that all comes with the community. Deshaun, if a veteran watching tonight wants to get around the right people, stay sharp, and keep growing, what would you tell them?
If they're on right now, they want to get around good people, stay sharp. Remember your core values when you was in the service. Remember those core values, whatever branch honor, courage, and commitment. Be honorable, have the courage not to be afraid to go out and try something, and then when you try it, stick to it, stay committed. I was listening to someone say, I don't know if it was Denzel Washington, there's no plan B, just keep that plan A. You crushed plan A. You walked with plan A. Staying sharp, it's every day. Just like we get up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym. Have a routine. Some people say a routine is bad. I don't believe a routine is bad. If you have a routine, then you can't get knocked off your block because you know exactly where you are, you know exactly where you're going. So stay focused and stay locked in. Never let nobody, if you're coming in this community, and I'm talking to you right now, don't let nobody knock you off your pivot. No person, no emotion, no friends, no family, nobody. If you want success and you chasing it, you stay locked into it. If somebody tell you can't do it, you look them right now and say, watch this. Be determined, be focused, and lock in. You see me on this. When I first started doing this 5 minutes, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I used to run 7 miles a day. And I got on that thing. I was like, who made this machine? You know what I mean? But I said, you know what? This machine ain't going to defeat me. And now I can stay up there for 90 minutes. Easy day. And no one was going to tell me I couldn't do it. Go after what you want and go get it. And nobody can stop me. That's what I would tell any vet that's watching right now, man. Stay hungry and eat.
David Goggins Jr. on that
stair. No. That man ran 204. I could, you know what? I might do it. Let me see. I called D up.
So, what's your final message? What's your final message for veterans who knows they are meant for more, but being moving in silence so far?
You tell them first thing if they struggle with moving in silence, if they struggle moving, and it's gonna sound, a lot of people don't like this word, but go get some therapy first. Find what's going on. If you're afraid to get out there and talk and get after things, and if you want to get out there and do those things, get some good therapy. Find your therapist that can help you overcome those barriers. Find your life coach that can help you overcome those barriers. Find somebody you can talk to, you trust, a mentor to help you get past what you're trying to go to. and then just go after it, man. Like it's you got to have that why. We all have it. Find that why and let it stick in your brain every day. If you got to write it down on a piece of paper, on the wall, on the refrigerator, something you walk past every day. Hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be an entrepreneur. You see it every day. Go after it, and don't be afraid to fail. You know, I think I posted on my TikTok the other day. Failing is okay because that gives you the opportunity to return. You can get back up. You know, you fall down, you get back up. What they say, you fall down 9 times, get up 10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say keep getting up, jeez, man. You know, it's all good. You know, and you can reach out to me directly if anybody want to hit me up, talk. Hey, we can chat it up, and I can tell you what I did to get to where I am right now. And I'm still trying to figure it out. And I'm still growing every single day, and I ain't afraid. And nobody's gonna stop me. They can try, but they can't because everybody bleeds and breathes the same oxygen, has that same blood running through their veins, and not nobody can stop you from doing absolutely nothing. But you're the only one. You're the only person to stop you. So go get money.
And so I know you said therapy, go get therapy, go get a life coach, go get a mentor.
Yeah.
We have all of that in the Skool community. If you want to talk with a therapist on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday at 12, we have conversations with a therapist. You can ask questions, you can talk, but if you want to book a private session, you can also do that with him as well. We have life coaches. We have everything that you would need for support inside of the Skool community. And I am also working on bringing people in to help with government contracting as well. Veterans, if you are trying to get into government contracting, if you don't like working for someone and you feel like you can run your own business, please join this community. Real estate, therapy, fitness, business, structure. We have it all. So if you if this resonated with you, please join the Skool community and stay connected with us and keep building. Thank you.